Hi guys, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you guys for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, my pleasure. So before we get started, if you guys could please give us a brief introduction about yourself.
Sure. So we both grew up in a village called Sair, to the north of Hebron, in the West Bank. We have a big family, so we are 4 sisters and 2 brothers. And we grew up there. We finished our high school there. And then, talking about myself now, I went to Birzeit University. I studied civil engineering, and then I was lucky enough to join the largest private sector project in the history of the country. So I led the project, and then after 11 years I decided to advance my career and I moved to New York. I lived there for 4 years. And
as for me, I left Palestine when I was 18. I got a scholarship as a chess champion. I did my undergrad in journalism. Then I got another scholarship to do my master's at NYU in New York. And when I went there, I realized that I fell in love with the city, and I decided to stay there for like a long time, maybe 10 years. I worked in politics, specifically at the UN, as a speechwriter and policy advisor.
Okay, amazing, thank you. So we'll start off from the very beginning. So where in Palestine were you guys born?
In Sair, it's a very small village. I would say like 40 to 50,000 is the population of the village. And my mother is from Bethlehem, from one of the villages of Bethlehem. So we grew up there. Yeah.
And has your family always just been in Palestine?
Yes. Yes. Like I can't remember even if we have any of our uncles or anyone our relatives that ever left Palestine. So they all stayed there. Yeah.
And what was your childhood like in Palestine and growing up in a small village?
You know, I would say despite all the challenges that we had a beautiful childhood. We grew up in a family full of love. My parents were amazing, and they managed with all the limited resources they have to give us a very beautiful life and childhood. I think the first challenge was when at the beginning of our childhood, early on, my father was in prison, political prison, for many times. He was always in and out, and he was in prison under administrative detention, where you never go to court, you never get charged with any felony, but yet you stay in the prison for 6 months, and then they decide to renew it, or you can leave the jail. So we grow up with my father always in prison.
What was school like?
We first studied in we were in a private school in Hebron, where we got to because my parents wanted us to get really good education, but once the second intifada broke, it was too dangerous to go to this school. So they moved us to our village school, which was honestly ranked among 10 of the worst public schools in the West Bank and Gaza. So that added a lot of challenge for us because we wanted to excel. And so we depended a lot on our selves and teaching each other in the house to obtain high grades in school. Other than that, it was good.
Yeah. My parents believed in education very much, so we were always very much driven to excel, as Shuruk mentioned, to improve our skills, to read books, or even watch movies and series in English to improve our language. So it was always like a goal for us to be good. This is how it was in our household.
So you guys grew up studying in Arabic at school?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the main language Arabic, but of course we also learned how to speak English in the school.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what were some of the difficulties in the public school? Any social challenges, any difficulties with the teachers?
I would say the difficulties, first of all, I think in terms of education itself, in public schools at that time, you start learning English at the age of 12 years old. So that was pretty late for children to catch the language. But for the school itself, I think for us, one of the challenges is that we were not wearing hijab, and we always faced some push from the classmates and some of the teachers. I mean,
Yeah.
Shadia once had a situation with one of the teachers because of her not covering.
Because like the village is very conservative, and so was also most of our teachers and the students. Everyone was veiled, so you were expected to follow a specific stereotype so you can fit in within the school and the community. And it was very challenging, but I think my mother was a very strong woman, and no one wanted to argue with her. And we had also a lot of respect for everyone around us. So we kind of figured that it was never about us. We didn't take anything personal, and we knew this is the way they are. And I felt like because we were very, really like top in our class, we were all of us like having great grades. We were just champion early on, and we were like very I would say committed to everything they give us in the classes. We were able to gain their respect at the end. Like it wasn't easy, worked hard for it, but I think we had really good relationship. But we really worked so hard to get it.
Yeah.
And did you guys play any sports growing up?
Only chess.
Yeah.
So I don't
Yeah.
mind the sport, I would say.
Unfortunately, this is one of the things that I really
Yeah.
regret, because, as I mentioned, the village is conservative, so there is no place, for example, for girls
Sports,
to
yeah.
play sports or like learn how to swim or like ride bicycles. So basically, this is one of the things that I still suffer from until now, because I never learned after I grow up. I think my sisters had the opportunity to, because they were younger than me, and
Yeah.
things changed a little bit at their time.
Yeah, I remember once my dad had to like book the whole
Pool.
pool. The club, the whole club. So us girls and a few other girls from the village can go and learn how to swim.
Yeah.
Because they really cared about us to learn that. But other than that, we just used to hike a lot with my dad growing up. So it's not like sport, but like we used to walk. We go every Friday, especially after the second Intifada. It was very important for my parents to find a space for us to escape, because the soldiers will break into our village every day. So every Friday we would go to, I would say we call it Al Barriya, or the wild area, which is between our village and the Dead Sea. And it was actually an area for military training for the Israelis. But like we would spend the whole day there walking between the mountains, and so that was like kind of a sport for
Right.
us, and we still maintain it until today.
Yeah.
So this is how we get the beautiful memories, right? Like when I always think about this memory, like
Yeah.
I just naturally smile, because it was really beautiful.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you cannot get the regular sports, but we find our
Yeah.
way to like move and be active, because otherwise we stay home the whole week, going to school and then home. So
Yeah.
that was our way to change all of that.
So now we'll get into the chess. So
Yeah.
At what age and how did you guys get into chess?
Yeah. So as I mentioned before, my father was in prison, and when he was in the political prison, he learned how to play chess. And after he got out of prison, he tried to find a way to bond with us, because we were, to us, he was a stranger. And he started to play first with my uncle. And then when he was playing with my uncle, he noticed that we are paying attention to the game. And this is when he tried also to start teaching us. And it was a great way for us to bond with my father. And this is how we picked it. We loved it. And as we talked just now, it is hard to be outside and to go out. It wasn't safe all the time. It was during the first Intifada when we started to learn, because I was, I think, 3 or 4 years old. And he wanted to keep us home, so we started to play over and over again. And then all of my siblings as well started to play, and then it became a family thing. I remember so many weekends we would just stay at home and have a championship all the day.
Yeah.
And my father got obsessed. He tied all the house with chess boards, and you find the chess pieces with the decoration everywhere you go. So it was an obsession with the family.
Yeah. And then I think when we moved to the public schools, we realized that, there is competitions for chess. And this is when we started playing it professionally, which was like a
It's a very funny story, actually. I remember I was in the class, and the teacher that was there, she was someone brought like a letter for her from the headmistress, and she said, uh, uh, there is a chess championship if anyone is interested or know how to play. And she was like, we barely know how to teach here, and they expect people to know how to play chess. No one here know how to play chess. I couldn't say anything after this attitude, but I just told my mother. And this is when she went to the school and talked to them, and she told them, my daughter know how to play chess. And that was my first championship I started in the family. And I remember in that championship, it was at Hebron level, so it's for the whole city, and I got the bronze medal, and everyone was shocked. And this is how we officially got into it. Now, after that year, every year we all go participate. We take all the medals that are available,
Yeah.
all the prizes, and we got really into it. It became our thing. We loved it, like everything about it. How we the competitive side of it, how we learned how to be patient, the thinking part, everything about the chess, I think, was beautiful.
So you were the first one you went to the championship a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
At that time, did any of your friends know that you played chess?
No, I think it was a family thing.
Yeah, so the competitions were happening at the city, and most of the like all of the players were from the cities, coming from the cities, and they were telling us, "Oh, you are farmers. How come farmers play chess?"
Yeah.
Now it changed all of it, but like they were really shocked that we are coming from a different place and we just like good at chess.
Yeah. And I feel like my family, my parents were very protective of us. Like they wouldn't, for example, allow us to go for a sleepover to one of our like friends' places, but yet they allowed us like at a very young age to travel with a chess team when we were alone, like without them. Like they definitely joined at some point for some competitions, but we traveled alone without them because they also saw the future and the exposure that we are getting from the chess. So they wanted us to get this experience. So they were very supportive.
Yeah.
And when you guys would go to the championships, like, were you expecting to win, or like, did you know that you were that good?
Not so
Palestine?
no.
You mean in Palestine?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think our family name became like a big thing in chess after a few years.
Yeah, initially we didn't realize it, but then, and because we are 6 children, and they have the competitions for different age groups. So from 10 to 12, 12 to 14, they have their own competition. So we will end up, the 6 of us, winning top of each category of the age categories, and people would get pissed off. Like 6 people from the family took all the medals. So it was funny, actually. My mother loved it.
I remember like one of the girls was actually crying because she saw that she will play against a Jaradat. Everyone knew about it. But I think after the school as well, we started to compete at the national level. So out of school, we're not competing like with the school's competition. And this is when we also started to get the championship for the Palestinian team, and we were officially in the team that is representing Palestine in international competitions.
Yeah.
And this is when we started to travel around as well.
How did it work to going from like winning the championships to like joining a team and then becoming the national championships?
It was overwhelming, I think,
Yeah.
because we were like, we grow up in this village, right? We did not have chance to travel. We definitely we went with our family, for example, to different cities of Palestine, but that was it. We did not have this level of exposure, and then you're expected to go outside, travel, and also represent your country, and there are expectations from you, even though you never got like official training. There is no captain for your team, no one is helping you, but yet you are expected to have results, not only from the Olympic team itself, but also from ourselves, because we are very competitive. We love to win, from our parents. So it was definitely very hard at the beginning.
Yeah, and I remember like especially with the Arab competitions, the coaches will come to us and they will be like really surprised of our level because we didn't have a coach. Like other teams, they had like grandmasters from Russia and
Yeah.
other places playing with them. So it was like unfortunate sometimes that we didn't have that level of support, but it was also very beautiful because many of the Arab teams, they would come and help us analyze our games after after each competition. So we actually noticed also some kind of solidarity within the Arab world about this. Yeah, it was beautiful.
And it was really exciting for us, even like just to know someone from Syria or like because in Palestine, unfortunately, no one can come and visit. So that was our first time to officially meet people from the Arab world. It's like, we met people from Morocco and Syria and Yemen and everywhere. So we were very, very excited about it. So it was like a different experience in all different levels.
Yeah, and also my father was not allowed to travel outside Palestine, and the first time he was allowed to do that was going with us for a competition in Yemen. I think because it's also, they were sure that it's not something political that he's traveling to, and that was also very beautiful. Like not only us, we get to travel, but my father was also having the freedom because of chess to also like leave the country and see other countries around. So yeah, chess holds a lot of beautiful memories in our family.
Was that the first time you guys left Palestine?
Yeah, with chess. I would say I was 19 and
I think I was 16.
Yeah,
you were 19.
I was 19. Yeah.
Were there any big shocks like when you left?
Oh yeah, like the first shock, I think that you can move from one place to another without checkpoints.
Yeah.
Really, I was like, okay, because when we, especially traveling for long distance, you just expect someone to show up and ask you for like your ID or whatever. But we were just like, if really traveling, and that was the first shock.
And especially that we started traveling after the second Intifada, after maybe 5 years. And it was impossible to move from one city to another or one village to another with one car. Impossible. All the villages and towns were closed. So just the fact that you can drive for 1 hour or two non-stop, that was shocking.
Yeah.
How did you guys, I guess, transition out of chess and then into university and pursuing your career?
Chess continued with me during school, during university. So I went to Birzeit University and I studied civil engineering, as I mentioned before. So I continued to compete. I remember I went to the Olympic Games in Doha 2006, and I went to World Championship, also chess championship in Turkey. So I continued to compete and I got really great results during the university time. But I think it was really hard after I started my career, because when I joined my first project, it was so hard to bring the balance between chess and also the job, because to do really well with chess, you are expected at least to travel for like 4 or 5 different championships or like all over the year.
It's a full-time job.
It's a full-time job. You need to train for it. Every trip you would need like 2 weeks off from your job. So it's really hard to keep up. So it was a very, very hard decision for me. But this is when I started to compete more like as a hobby. So I stopped being a professional player, but just continued with me after that. Like I remember, like in New York, you would find me in the street playing with the guys in the street. It's a thing that I will never let go of. Yeah.
And like at the time, was chess or the money that you made from the tournaments, was that enough to justify making a career out of chess?
Oh,
I think.
Did we ever make money from chess?
Yeah, I was about to say, I think for the Palestinians, it's difficult because our federation is not that supported financially, let's say. So it was very difficult to gain money from that. And if you really want to gain money from international competitions, you need like strong coaches with you to help you really reach that level. And for that was not available for us, unfortunately.
I remember my parents, they paid a lot of the trips as well at some point, even our pocket money. It was hard for the federation to cover the cost. So to us, I feel like to us, to the federation, to everyone, just us like participating in the championship is some sort of resistance.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, it was a big deal, honestly. Just to see Palestine there on the
yeah, to have the
among the
flag.
players.
Yeah.
But now things changed.
Yeah.
Now there is so much attention on chess. They play it everywhere in
Yeah.
schools and villages and cities. It's beautiful, and they have coaches for it, more tournaments.
And I follow the news as well. Like there are so many talented players now from Palestine, young ones, and they compete like local level and Arab world level and international level, and they really have a great
Yeah.
result. So we are so happy to see where it went after some years. Yeah.
Especially with the internet now, so
Yeah.
you can use these programs to train and learn, and
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Were there any challenges when you went to university, especially in New York? Any challenges overcoming cultural barriers, language barriers?
I would say yes. Actually, the thing that I noticed the most about studying in New York, that when I used to submit my research, they would tell me, the professors, okay, you have great ideas, but you are acting from an emotional point of view, and this is a lot of Arabs do that. Like, okay, you have a theory about something happening in the world, and you just act upon emotions, and you don't support it with enough facts and evidence. And this was for me a huge change, not only in terms of like how I write my research, but how I think about things from a different level. Culturally, yes, there were some challenges for someone studying at NYU. Many times I had to challenge my professors. You can, especially as a Palestinian, you like one teacher I remember kept assigning me for researches about terrorism, and I was like, I can't, this is the third time you assign me this topic, and I can't see this as a coincidence. Like, I had to talk to her about it. So there was a lot of challenges in terms of like representing your country in this educational system. The students were amazing, honestly. They were, because New York is very international. You can meet a lot of students who are very supportive and want to learn about what is happening in terms of the conflict. In terms of culture itself, like it was new, different, I would say for sure. But I think I'm grateful that my parents had been open to learning about other cultures always. Like even in Hebron, they put us in a Christian school because they cared more about the education than the religion in that term. We were always celebrating Christmas as a family. So they had this opening for us, always having foreigners because of my parents' work coming to our house, like human rights activists. So we had this exposure to different cultures. So that eased things definitely.
Were there any advantages that you felt like you had over the other students from growing up in a simple village?
Yes, definitely. I would say, and my professors told me this, I bring them a new perspective that they never thought about. When I do research, like once a professor asked us to write about the wall in Germany, I forgot what, I think it has a name, and I compared it to the apartheid wall in Palestine. So they really loved this new perspective that was coming to them. And from the village itself, I think there were a lot of positive things. I always feel I'm very proud to be a farmer. I'm very proud to grow up in this small village, because you learn how to be to think of creatively, because you are used not to have everything available to you all the time. So you have to think of creative ways to get what you want, and this way of thinking remained with us until today, at work, at university.
Yeah, we are very proud of our background, and we had the chance to travel the world after, but there is something very unique in the village where we grow up, and within that community, the simple things that you don't find elsewhere, the support that you get from the community, at least twice a year now. Me and my siblings, we travel there and we go to the village where we grow up because my brother still live there, and everyone know we are coming and they are happy about it. We spend time, quality time, because there is something different there, and it will always stay with us. That there was a point where we had nothing, limited resources. My parents were struggling to get us the basic things, but yet we were so happy despite all the challenges. So to us, we will never be attached to anything materialistic because we know what real happiness is. So we will always have this with us.
And I think we brought the sense of community. Like when I was at the university, and then when we were living together in New York, we always loved to have people over for food, like cooking maqluba or other Palestinian dishes, because this is also very specific. I would say to the villages, farmers, we love to just have people around eating together, and this thing we took with us everywhere we go.
Amazing. What advice do you guys have for Palestinians that are living in Palestine right now?
It's a very hard time.
Yeah.
But I think us Palestinians everywhere, Palestinians that are now in Gaza, in West Bank, live in diaspora, we are all going through a very, very rough and hard time and a very strong grief. But we will never lose hope. We don't have the luxury of losing hope. Now, when we left Palestine for chess, I remember so many times, like especially international competitions, they ask me, "Where are you from?" And I say Palestine, and they ask me Pakistan. Now, I don't think anyone in the world doesn't know the cause of Palestine and support the cause of Palestine. So we, of course, we will always have hope.
Yeah, and I would add to that, like, things now look very desperate and gloomy, and it's hard to see what is coming on the horizon. But I think the most important thing, and this is what we were told, like especially during the second intifada, my parents kept telling us, focus on your education. You can do a lot to your country if you excel with your education and you get to represent your country in different places and universities and around the world. You can tell your story, your narrative. So I really feel like now I think everyone there is like, it's hard for them to think about what is coming next, but we can start with the small things and focus on what we can do this today and the second day, and that is like really building the skills and the knowledge for what is coming next.
Step by step.
Step by step.
All right, thank you guys. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You have good questions.
Yeah, really good questions.